and gentlemen, to Longbox Chronicles Month here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a movie from 2013. That movie is R.I.P.D. Now, when this thing came out last year, a lot of people were comparing it unfavorably to the Men in Black series, and going as far as to say that it's a shameless ripoff, even though one of them has to do with aliens, the other one has to do with ghosts. This thing's technically the Ghostbusters, if the Ghostbusters were also ghosts. I don't see a lot of, connection between this thing and Men in Black, outside of the fact that they're both based on comic book properties, but anyway, I'm not going to go into detail on that. Now, a whole lot of those claims and a whole lot of those accusations came because R.I.P.D. was in theaters the same time as Men in Black 3 was. And Men in Black 3 has already proven itself to be a 2-hour unnecessary gaping plot hole in that film series. So the only way that this thing is going to be worse than Men in Black 3 is if this movie goes actively out of its fucking way to make no sense at all. I have no idea exactly what the hell I'm getting into because I only saw a couple of trailers for this thing, and they looked okay. I mean, I honestly don't know if it's going to be any good at all. And the only way I'm going to find out if it is any good is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out R.I.P.D. So wait a moment, let me see if I understand this. So, if you die and you're able to evade judgment and you stay on Earth, your ghost mutates into a monster, and because you evade judgment, you're guaranteed for, hell. That's kind of sort of what I'm hearing here. Sounds kind of stupid, but frankly, I honestly am not going to complain much. Okay, I actually was going to ask exactly how the hell cuffing a ghost is supposed to do anything, and apparently, yeah, it really doesn't do much when the ghost can just rip off their limbs and it doesn't seem to hurt them any, so, yeah, I'm kind of wondering exactly what the point is of the fucking cuffs, you know what I mean? Okay, I really don't mean to be a stickler for details, but I don't think that is how elevators work. Granted, now, the scene was really cool, but I don't think that you can cause a fucking elevator car to go rocketing out of the top of the building that it is in. Just saying, guys. Guys, I really just cannot, help but feel that this whole plan by our, villain and his team of fucking deados was really fucking brilliant. It genuinely was a smart move, and I'm actually a little bit fucking, impressed. Well, guys, that was R.I.P.D. Let's shut that off. Oh, man. Alright. So, before we get going with actually talking about the movie, I want to touch on all of the accusations of this thing ripping off of Men in Black. Everyone who says that, you have zero case, alright? You would have a better argument if you said this thing was trying to rip off of Ghostbusters, because there are far more parallels between this thing and Ghostbusters than there are this and Men in Black. But also, as a counter-argument, this thing is better than 2/3 of the Men in Black film series, so really, you don't have a whole lot to stand on there, guys. Anyway, just sort of wanted to get that out of the way right now. Now let's talk about the movie itself. Let's start with the writing. I had no idea if this thing was going to be any, good, guys. I mean, because the trailers looked kind of promising, but the trailers also looked as if the film could have potentially been incredibly fucking stupid. And it wound up being really solid in terms of story and pacing and character depth. Just everything here is done very, very, very well. And I would have loved to have seen a sequel, but considering the fact that this thing bombed in theaters, that is not going to happen. Plus side is I can now start looking into the R.I.P.D comics, and after seeing this thing, I totally want to read those fucking comics. Anyway, our story here is really solid, and it is going to keep you interested from start to finish. The movie honestly doesn't have any moments where it starts to, like drag or the story starts to slow down. Everything here is going at a really fine pace. Our characters here are all incredibly likable, including our villain, but then again, that's because he's played by Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon can make almost anything fucking work. So, yeah, we have here, guys, just an awesome, story, and our cast also sort of, like out by turning in some fantastic performances, because I'm going to tell you guys right now, Kevin Bacon, like I said, we had freaking Kevin Bacon, and he turned in a fantastic showing. Ryan fucking Reynolds is awesome, but you know what, guys? The main guy in this thing is Jeff Bridges. Just, there is no fucking argument. If there's any one actor in here who turns in just the best showing, it would be Jeff fucking Bridges. But then again, that also is because he is playing the most interesting character in the entire film, and that's Roy. I really kind of liked how Roy was treated as a character. So, yeah, guys, acting here is solid from everybody. I'm actually trying to remember if there was any moment when the acting like dropped off, and really it didn't. So we are talking the entire cast turned in a stellar showing, and the script here was really solid. Special effects here, I do need to comment on special effects. I can say this. Special effects here, like CG and makeup, are really good. There are, though, like a couple of minor things which are probably going to throw off a couple of viewers. One thing that I noticed was right towards the end, as all of these portals are opening up over Boston and sucking everything in. One of the first things we see moving is a VHS tape, as it's just kind of sort of bouncing and rolling down the sidewalk. And the VHS tape was not quite modeled right, and it looked way off to me. Again, that's because I used to have a lot of VHS tapes. In fact, if I had one on me now, I'd probably show it to you as just sort of like a visual aid to kind of show you what was wrong with it. But it just looked wrong, and I totally understand that. I am making a big deal out of a shot that lasted all of like 10 fucking seconds, but it is a lot of those little things which people are going to notice, and they're probably going to have a problem with it. Also, this movie has a really bad habit of having CG, bodies land in really awkward ways. Example, at the very start of the film, when fucking Ryan Reynolds' character Nick dies, he basically falls from a high distance. He lands like right on his neck. So basically then, so we then have like the head and neck like bent, like at a 90-degree angle. However, though, then he lands, and then the body just violently like snaps down as if someone were slamming his body down like it was a fucking door. And we have tons of that kind of stuff, where bodies honestly are just not handled the way that bodies would naturally fall and move when they are rendered in CG. And it's going to throw off some people, and they probably got to take in a little bit more care to make that look a little bit better. However, if you're able to look past those few real glaring issues with if you're able to look past the few really glaring errors when it comes to CG and modeling and like physics and and everything else, then you know what, the movie is awesome in terms of CG. Because mind you, I seriously, guys, I'm talking about just a very few short number of shots that just look way off, and everything else looks incredibly stellar. Makeup effects here. There really, though, are not a whole lot of makeup effects, but I am going to touch on them. What is here in terms of makeup effects look amazing. And Granted, now they honestly are not the best you will ever see, but they are at least decent, and that is certainly good. So yeah, lighting here is really good. And speaking honestly of lighting, I actually just sort of caught how this is looking on my fucking camera's view, finder, and my lighting in here really sucks, today. I really don't know why. I think I need to get some new bulbs. That has nothing to do with the movie. I just sort of thought I'd comment on that because I know there's going to be comments on the video, it's just so fucking dark. Yeah, well my lighting is shit. That is the big reason why. Anyway, but lighting though, okay, now lighting in this fucking video sucks, but lighting in the movie is really solid. And the sound mix is really good. And the soundtrack is awesome. The score here is really good. Guys, ultimately, the only problem I have is just a very small number of rather questionable CG shots. And those are so minor and trivial that really I am probably one of the only people who actually noticed it and felt the urge to make a fucking deal out of it. So guys, when all is said and done, am I able to recommend R.I.P.D? Oh, you betcha. This thing here is really friggin' good. Now, mind you, I totally understand that this thing is not exactly a rush out and purchase sort of a thing. However, though, like, if you find it on Netflix, check it out. If maybe say like it's running on like HBO or the movie channel or something, go ahead, guys, and give it a watch. This thing here is totally worth checking out at least once, and then after you've seen it, then you can kind of judge if you want to purchase it. I genuinely think this thing is totally worth checking out, like checking out once. I'm really happy to own it, and this thing is going to certainly have a very happy spot on my Blu-ray shelf. I genuinely enjoyed this this movie, and now I'm going to need to go look for a couple of the R.I.P.D comics, because I kind of want to see how the comics are compared to this. Wow, guys, and I just noticed I've been kind of babbling for about the last 5 minutes or so, and it didn't mean anything, so I'm probably going to cut all of that. So if you notice like a jump cut or a fade, yeah, I did a lot of pointless rambling. Anyway, guys, you know what? I'm actually kind of now in the mood to watch fucking Ghostbusters again. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go and do that. And once more, yeah, if you guys see this thing anywhere, check it out. It's totally worth giving a viewing to. So anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.